Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like this. Hi, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Dutch, nice seeing you. Johnny, hi. Stepan, hi. Goran, welcome. And everybody else who is lurking in the background. Hope there is somebody lurking in the background. Actually, there is. It says like there is 6 people. No, just kidding. I managed to do something just right now that's bad, but well, we are here to fix things, so we have more things to fix. Actually, this one we will not be fixing. I will. Okay, so the agenda for today's stream. I was bragging how I had a summerhouse home assistant running off of SSD card for 4 years or something like this. Let me kill those. Fast forward, whatever. Fast. No. No. Stream will be more interesting because I will be just failing all the time probably. We will see. Actually, maybe another SD card, but yeah. Hi, Blackadder. So I was bragging how I had a home assistant running off of a Raspberry card for 4 years, something like that, close to 4 years. That's actually this Raspberry Pi, and this is the case, and this was the very sophisticated cooler on the wire that I was using to cool everything, and it suited my needs because actually there I don't have any Zigbee devices, I don't have any ESP home devices. There is actually just one ESP home device. I use it mostly to check the cameras, to see the local weather, to check the aircrafts. This was used there. I did have a Zigbee stick. Actually, this is antique already, although if anybody wants, I have like 10 of them. CC2561, 2651, I forgot already how it's called. So, and it was working nicely until about 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. Then I did the reboot, then I did some upgrades, reboot, and kaput. Nothing else matters. Where is here is the SD card from that Raspberry Pi, but it's that you cannot do anything with it. On the other hand, I also have this case you can see in the background. I have it. Hi, Kemi. This case that's in the background, I have it for like 2 months now, and I never managed to make a video on it because I tried to make videos on stuff that either is 3D printing, which is something completely different than smart homes, but it can be connected to smart homes because you print the cases, etc. But I try to, whatever video I do, I try to have at least some connection to home assistant or smart home so that you can use it at your setup. So this case was great, but Home Assistant OS is not the best OS to run it on. So what we will be trying to do today is restore backup from local file I have here. And yes, the last backup I downloaded was May 2022. So it's also on the release from May 2022. Then we have to do the updates, upgrades, whatever. Then what I want to do is I'll talk in a second about the case. Then I want to migrate everything off of SD cards to something more robust, future-proof. And I want to see if I can, with Home Assistant OS, at least use some of the functionality of this case. And let's talk about this case. I'm almost prepared. Let me switch the screen. Okay, so this is the case. or shall we talk? No. Let's look at first how it should look, and then we'll see what I managed to do just now before the stream. Actually, it was working 15 minutes before the stream, and now it's not working, at least not how it should. So let's check it out. So it's a Pi Ironman Raspberry Pi case. It's aluminium, which is great because it also helps with the cooling. It has how it's called, ice cool, whatever it's called, ice tower cooler, which is really nice big cooler. And on the other side there is a fan with the RGBs. The case has RGBs. Those RGBs are digital RGBs, meaning that you can control it, and the case really looks nicely. And it's perfect case if you are not into Home Assistant. For example, if you play with Raspberry Pis, if you have a RetroPie on it, play games out of it. With the monitor that I did video last week, because both of them have RGBs. Unfortunately, that monitor you cannot control the RGBs, but here you can control the RGBs and you can play with them, and it's really fun and visually nice case. Then it has, as it says here, M2 SATA SSD expansion board, which I have bought and put the disk inside about 2 months or 3 months ago when I got the case. Then it has the OLED display, which is awesome. Again, if you, for example, use RetroPie for whatever, not for Home Assistant, for whatever, and you're running a Raspberry Pi OS or a Raspbian, or how it's called, you have information about the CPU usage load, then the temperature, then you have information about the network, RAM and ROM. ROM, I think, is the SD drive or whatever. So you have RGBs, you have excellent cooling, you have a screen, you have SATA SSD expansion board. Then you have ER receiver. This dot here is actually ER receiver. So if you have remote, you can program and use that remote with this device. So for example, it's a very good case for the media players. Again, this is a Raspberry Pi case, so don't expect 8K or something like that. And it has a nice controllable power button that can be used to wake the display, that can be used to put the Raspberry Pi to sleep, that can be used to reboot the Raspberry Pi, etc. It's a really nice case, but it wasn't designed for the Home Assistant OS. It wasn't designed for the Debian. If I'm not mistaken, Debian is Home Assistant OS. So okay. The price of the case is $69. Yeah, without the Raspberry Pi, or $237 with the Raspberry Pi, 2 gigs and 32 gig TFT card. As I said, I set this case about, as soon as I got it, I managed to install it. I have also a video on how it comes in pieces, so you have to assemble it, which is, let's look at it. Where is the assembly documentation? Okay, SATA, this is the cooler, RGB fan, safe shutdown, display, ER receiver. Okay, yeah, it has oh yes, 2 more things. So since the Raspberry Pi is inside the case, then you also have a separate slot where you insert the SD card, and you also have a GPIO extensions on the side of the case, so you can actually access, although everything is inside the case, you can actually access everything and hook up whatever you want to hook up there. Yeah, today we will be using it. It does show that you can use it with Home Assistant, and you can use it with Home Assistant, but actually we will have to sort a lot of issues. So Home Assistant OS is very closed OS. If we don't want to go with the Debian and then install the Python and supervised version directly on the top of the OS, we go with Home Assistant OS. First, you cannot do everything in Home Assistant OS because it limits what you can do on the OS itself. Secondly, not all the repositories that are available for the Raspbian are available for this. Not everything is compiled, so we'll have to think of something. These are all the nice videos about it, and I just want to show you if I can find the... Oh, this is the assembly instructions. SunFounder, by the way, SunFounder sent me this case free of charge. This is, I think, third case, or come on, open it in a new window. No, not like that, like this. Don't download. Oh, no, don't. I've downloaded like a dozen times already. Yay! So everything is disassembled. You have to assemble completely the case. The case is, as I said, these parts here are the aluminum. These are here acrylics. This is the cooler part. This is mount for the cooler. You get screws, wrenches, whatever you need to set it up. You do receive those flat cables for GPIOs and SD cards, blah, blah, blah. It's a pretty good case, but yeah. So, if you've seen my last video, hey, hi, Heron. If you've seen my last video, this is, let me kill the lights. I know I have a button for that somewhere. Ooh. So, this is the monitor from the last week's video. And actually what you don't see here now is working LEDs. So what I did, I power cycled the device about 3 times in a row, accidentally more or less, or once deliberately, 2 times accidentally, and it looks like I've also corrupted the SD card. It's not booting up, and because it's not booting up, let me try it once again. So since it's not booting up, I cannot show you the display, which is nice. I cannot show you the LEDs, which are nice, and it's terrible. It's terrible. I need ASAP 2 more Raspberry Pi 4s, and I simply cannot afford it, or don't want to afford it. I don't want to give that money for yeah. Hi, Stillart. So prices are really dumb. I've rebooted the case. Let me turn the lights on and just walk you through the case. Okay, so on this side you have power cable, which is optional since you can power the device from the back side, but it needs 3 amps. I am not sure that my power supply here is 3 amps, it's 2 point something. Then you have option to power it, to power the board. This is the expansion board, and also the Raspberry Pi separately. So I did that. You have HDMI cables. These are the standard Raspberry Pi HDMI cables, standard audio port on the Raspberry Pi. On the front side, as I've shown, you have a screen which is until it boots up. Nothing. ER receiver and the button to restart, reboot, whatever, this Raspberry Pi. On back side, we have Ethernet cable. We have slot for the camera. You can attach the camera to it. You have 3 USB ports that are free. 4th one is used and is connected down to the expansion board and is used actually for the SSD. You have power cable that is normally used if you have 3 amp power supply to power everything, micro SD card, and on this side, as I said, you have a fan that turns on automatically at 50 degrees or whatever temperature you decide to turn it on, with LEDs. And we have here the GPIO pins that you can use for whatever program you want, or where is my cable? I just had it a couple of minutes ago on the desk. Or you can just, yeah, whatever. So this is the case. What are the steps? And so as I said, I messed things up. Hi, Neil. I messed things up, and unfortunately, it looks like we can wait a minute or two for this to finish once again trying to boot. just to show you before we remove the okay, while we are waiting, we can do the next step, but we can leave it as is to see if it will turn on or not. You have LED strip is connected to this expansion board. This one is not glued inside the box because I was not sure how it will look. It actually looks really nice since it's a controllable LED. It has by default some breathing, light blue breathing light, which looks really, really nice. But of course you can change and play with that. Enough talking about that. While we wait for this to boot up, I've prepared here... hey, Daniel! What I prepared? Oh, actually, we have people on stream. So now it's 8. Just kidding. Thanks, everybody. But by the way, don't forget to hit that like button. I forget always to mention that. And it does help at the end. Okay, change. Let's open up this one here. Let's move this one here. And let's press this one here. Okay, Balena Etcher. I don't have. New SD card. This is pretty big card. I think it's 64 gigs. Actually, we don't need that much. Hopefully. Come on, cancel. Okay, cancel. Close. Cancel. I'm using repository on the Git. We are using image from the web. So this is our input. Target will be this mass storage, and let's click on flash while we are okay. I hope, yep, everything is working. So while we are waiting for maybe this now to boot up. If not, we will just proceed with the restoration, backup, etc. I do have a couple of issues. I will have a couple of issues during restore. One is that system is using internally and externally SSL certificate, which I normally don't do anymore. When I first started, all my instances were both internally and externally secured with SSL certificates. Now I use only external SSL certificates. So I have to fix that. Maybe not. We will see. And what else? One thing that I need to make work is the fan. We will try to install, it will fail. This is the spoiler, it will fail. We will try to install these, tools. This is Pironman. There are a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you have to change this to enable infrared and the power button, which if you do not do, the power button itself will not work, and the infrared, of course, will not work. Then you have to install this Pironman module from GitHub, which I know will fail, because probably a lot of repositories that are needed for this will not work. And this is needed for OLED, so it can push the CPU, RAM, blah, blah, whatever there. To turn the fans on, which I actually need to have working, because where this device will be kept, the temperature goes in the summer really high, so I need to cool the CPU. We probably will not be able to do anything with the RGB strip at this point. Maybe later on I will figure out a way how to use that one, and that's it. So yeah, this will be after we set up everything, after we restore, after we update all the components, after I fix whatever it needs to be fixed inside Home Assistant. We will then try to get as many things as we can working. About hardware, so features. Okay, so this one has finished, meaning that our it's testing now. Close, cancel. Yeah, it's testing now the card, so it is flashed. The lights are not on the case, so we will just shut it down, insert the SD card, and yeah, start with the installation and recovery of Home Assistant. I have too many wires. I actually pulled once again wrong wire, but it's better. On the last stream, I think we have been playing with the 220 volts on the desk, and there were a lot of wires hooked up to the mains power. This time we are just playing with 5 volts. So okay, let's wait for this to finish up. We have selection of beverages for today's stream. Once again, our non-existing sponsor. Where is it? Non-existing. Oh. Yes. Let's shut down the lights. Come on, what's that pop-up? We don't want to see the pop-ups. Stop the pop-ups. So these are the lights in the case. You can control the intensity, you can control the light, you can control the effects. And as you can see, here is the screen. So we have here the CPU. Come on, it will not focus, it's too dark to focus. We have CPU here, temperature, which is currently 48.7. We have some strange IP address here, RAM, this is 4 gig Raspberry Pi, we have used 0.4, and we have used 6.3 gigabytes out of 30 gigabytes on the SD card. As I said, the case really nicely extends this monitor and vice versa. So that's something that I wanted to show you before I mess up everything, and one of the next videos will be actually about this case, not in terms of Home Assistant, although I actually may, if we manage to make something work, I may record video also on the Home Assistant integration, but it will be mostly about the case, the effects, how do you install software, how do you control things, etc. But for now, what are we going to do is press this button, 1, 2, power off, and that's it. And it will now power off. That's how you turn the devices off. You don't unplug them like I normally do. Let's start with this transparent energy drink. It's lime. It's still working something, the LEDs are off, the screen is off, but I see still some network activity and the SD card activity. Actually, there is no SD card activity, we can shut it down. Off. We take the SD card, remove this card, insert the Home Assistant SD card, and we now wait. Once again, as I said, I'm using 2 power supplies. This one is powering directly Raspberry Pi, and this one here is powering the expansion board or the main board. They call it the main board, but for me this is the expansion board. But yeah, look, main board. This is the main board. Okay, while we wait for this to finish up booting, let me check the IP address just to be sure that we will be booting up on a known IP address. Thanks to last week's stream where we played with the iHost, which is actually still on my desk. I'm still playing with it. It's a really nice device. I have now additional switch on my table, and since it is... Oh, nice. Okay, Since it is a unified switch, I can see it in the console and get the IP address, etc. much faster than previously. Ooh, nice color. Okay, so while this is booting up, let's look at the main board. Depending on what you want to do with this case, if you want to use it as I mentioned, for example, for the RetroPie to play games, etc., or for your kids to learn programming or whatever, you can disable some of the things and you can configure some of the things. As I mentioned, ER cords can be configured by the text file or configuration file. Same goes for the WS2812 strip, which you can control either through this app or through the text file. In terms of cooling fan, you can completely disable. Each of the things can be at the end completely disabled by removing the header pins. This one here is for cooling fan, infrared, for the LEDs, and these here are used either to disable or configure what will happen with you when you press the shutdown or keep pressing the button. Each of those things is attached to specific GPIO pin, so that's why I hope that we will be able to use GPIO 6 to control the cooling fan, as I need that one. I don't need infrared receiver. I don't care about weather strip because that site is remote to me, and I'm not that into the shutdown signal power button, but as I said, I really want to have this one working. Let's see what's going on here. Yep, it's still loading. Hopefully it will be fast. I am on a more or less fast network. I really do hope, Blade Shop, I really do hope that the price will eventually come down, because it's currently too expensive to buy Raspberry Pis. This here is my last Raspberry Pi 4, which I had for some projects, but since the SD card in Raspberry Pi 3 died, now I have one extra Raspberry Pi 3. I decided, when I'm already doing the upgrades, updates and everything, to move my system to Raspberry Pi 4. I have one additional device that I need to test that actually needs the Raspberry Pi 4, which I don't have currently. And there is also one device that I would love to have always ready, which also requires Raspberry Pi 4. So that's just two, missing two holes that I need to fill currently with the Raspberry Pis. And we're not talking about, for example, having an extra for whatever. So I have now from Raspberry Pi devices. These are actually the only three devices I have. This is Raspberry Pi 3. This is Raspberry Pi 2 0W and Pico. That's it. I don't have anything, just waiting to do project. Okay, let's restore from backup. And oh my god, where is the file? Just give me a second. It doesn't look like it should look. Give me a second, please. I just hope it's not on the other PC. Because this is a too large file. Add-ons, core, what the heck is that? Give me a second. It does. Just a second, please. I have to. Just a second, just a second. Ah, come on. File. Okay, copy. Let's move it. Till now, I already know issues now. Now, of course, my credentials are wrong. Okay, let's move it here. Paste. The backup is thankfully very small, so that shouldn't be an issue. It's just 300 max. Yay, Microsoft Surface. Actually have this here. This is the company. I also have this one here, laptop and Surface Pro. Okay, let me hear the music. And one thing, I don't know if you've seen last stream, we were looking at this iHouse from Sonoff, which is also a really nice device, and price was really not that bad, especially for first 100 units. I think the price was very reasonable, and there are already, I think, on a Home Assistant community forum, there is a way on how to flash custom firmware, custom OS on it. So it's a hackable device, and it has a really nice price. It has embedded Zigbee, Bluetooth. So yeah. Hey Mark. Okay, let's load up the file. Here, there, open. It will take some time for everything to pull up, and I do not have that many add-ons there. I do have a couple of add-ons, but it's not terrible, so that shouldn't take a long time. Come on, upload. The lights are blinking. So as I was saying, this is really not as a I do have affiliate link somewhere on the web, but I will not be posting it. But if you go check it out, as I said, this is not bad. Unfortunately, this version, yeah, I got it free of charge. They sent it to me without any extra cost, but also they didn't ask anything from me. Actually, I don't have to make a video or talk about it any time, but I did. This is one of the first devices that I really liked from Sonoff. So that's a good alternative because it already has a couple of things nicely packed inside, which you can keep and use their OS with the Docker already pre-installed, so you can run Home Assistant out of that or whatever. I know that we played with the HomeKit, how it's called, the HomeKit. It works also nicely. I did play for it. We did a little bit in between, but yeah, this step now will take some time. Now let me just monitor the network activity here. You will not see anything, but thank God, it's called security. So we don't talk about LTT security. Yeah. So how's everybody doing? While we wait for this to finish loading, let me close a couple of unnecessary windows. No, I think that streaming software is necessary. Yeah, Linux got hacked. Nice. A lot of people got hacked. I was on a event, security event, close group of people last week, mostly CEOs and CSOs, some CISOs. It was a really nice event. We had a guy talking about cryptojacking and negotiations with the cryptojackers. Yeah, unfortunately, Kirill, this is the only... I do regular backups, but that system was never actually saving those backups anywhere, so this is the last backup I have. But I also didn't work that much on that system, so if anything is lost, there are a couple of things, but that's nothing that cannot be fixed later down the road. And since May last year, I didn't do or add any additional add-ons. I didn't work on any automation, so it should be okay. This is a 4-year-old system, so thanks for that one. But by the way, let's get back to the cryptojacking and the security. We had guy from one big company that is actually specialized in negotiations with the cryptojackers or hackers or mob for the enterprise users. So for example, let's talk theoretically here, we are talking theoretically. If, for example, you are a big international, multinational company, you get locked out of your systems or databases or whatever, you actually hire those guys to negotiate the payment, the settlement, retrieval of keys, verification, etc., etc. So it was really nice insight into something that you usually do not see. And then also we had people from the Ministry of Interior, a panel afterwards with the Ministry of Interior, a cybersecurity specialist, and one person from the law university. They were talking about the law implications of, for example, paying ransom, but also reporting or not reporting any cyber attacks as a company. We're talking about here company. Individuals, it's different, not actually, but there is difference between the individuals and the companies. But it was really awesome event, and you hear about some numbers of how many companies do get hacked, what are some typical payments that they get. You know, you learn about, does everybody pay full amount or do you negotiate? What can go wrong in negotiations? What are some limits? What are some do's? What are some don'ts? But we're talking here about theoretical because, you know, people or states or companies do not pay ransomware. It's like kidnapping. You don't pay kidnappers. Okay. This is still loading, hopefully. Let me just check in a separate window. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's still loading. Yep. How many traffic did we have? We got about gig of data downloaded since we restored this backup. I will kill the screen a couple of times because if I open up, some of the private data will be exposed, such as the external IP address, external domain name, etc. for this server. So that's why I will need to, kill the screen for a second or two. But it's still not completely loaded. I think it has to download at least around 2 gigs. We are halfway there. Halfway there. So yeah, lessons learned from this backup failed is make sure that you have backups that are downloaded. Second, when you see signs that the SD card is failing, it's probably better to do something about it and not wait for the SD card to fail. I've seen some signs that the card itself was failing, so I had about 4 months to do something, and actually I didn't do anything. That's why, yeah, always have backup safe. And I myself will watch video from BeardedTinker, because BeardedTinker has created one video on how to automate saving backup files somewhere else on the network or in the cloud, etc. I myself usually use Synology. Also in the summerhouse I have Synology, but no, I never set up. Yeah. No, this is, as I've just mentioned, Mark, I never ever did create a job that would save my backups somewhere else. So almost a year ago, or in the May 2022, I probably accidentally downloaded one backup file, and that is the only backup file I had for that system. Yeah, I don't learn from my own videos. While we wait for this to load up, is it still loading? The problem is that, as I said, this screen here is the HTTP, and the new session will be HTTPS. So while I still keep this window open, it will probably not refresh. I have been refreshing on the other screen. If anybody's interested, I already know what will be the topic of the stream in 2 weeks. It will be something completely different. I'm actually a bit scared about that one, since that is something that I've never actually seen in oh, okay. Ah, it's working. Give me a second. It's loading. Let me just input the password. And log in. Nice, Kirill. I'm yeah, a lot of errors here. I don't do it like that. What I usually for Home Assistant. So it all depends what I'm backing up. So this PC is backed up with how it's called, Active Backup for Business or something like that on Synology. Home Assistant instances that I have here are backed up via Samba Backup, meaning that they do the backup, they copy the files to the backup server, and then keep locally just like 4 latest backups or something like that. And in that backup folder, I have probably a couple of years worth of backup, because I wouldn't say unlimited storage, because I'm currently only at 1.5 tera of space free, so I have to replace disk, but I have enough storage. Okay. This is up. This is the first step. We now have to update everything, which I will be doing. Where to start? Let's start with the add-ons. I will just stack them all. And the last one will be the core update, and then we will restart the system. I think we also have to update HACS. Whoa, a lot of stuff here. Okay, update. Nope, something went wrong there. Update. update. I don't know why I have simple thermostat. I don't have any heating there. That doesn't matter. Come on. Watchman update. Surveillance card update. Sun card. I think that sun card doesn't exist anymore. Meter alarm card. This exists. Wow. Version 1.14.1 was last year, and we have 2.4 to reload 2.4.3 now. Okay, these two cards need to be removed. We are pending restart. We will not be restarting Home Assistant, and we are waiting for all the updates here to finish up. I think 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 2, 4, 6, 8. We had, I believe, 10 notifications. Dismiss for now. Okay, this is whatever. It's the old version of Home Assistant. Add-ons. 5, 4. But as I said, this is just the first step. In the next step, we want to be able to control at least something from this case in Home Assistant. So that's the next step. For that, we will need to install one additional. Okay, I don't know if anybody remembers last year drama of GPIO control from Raspberry Pi getting kicked out of Home Assistant core and migrated or moved to HACS. So that's why we will need to install HACS component, and then try to use that HACS component to control the GPIO pins. In this case, to be able to start the fan on the PC. A lot of stuff will be broken here because a lot of devices will pop up that are not existing where the original Raspberry Pi location is, and second, we are missing Synology. We are missing all the camera feeds. We have different router here, so that stuff will not be working until I move this case back to my summer house. That's also one of the reasons I'm doing this stream today and not doing this offline, because I want to know if anybody's interested to see how this case works and what you can do with it. But I also have to prepare everything to have it shipped next week in the summer house and installed there. And I also need to record the video, as I said, on this case, because after I finish, after the stream, I will make a backup, then restore the card that we start the stream with. This is the card that has Raspbian OS. Do the video, then insert once again card, which I don't know if it will work, because one of the next steps that we need to try is to migrate Home Assistant from SD card to M2 card. We'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I need to finish up this because I need to have access to my cameras from outside of my network. So that's one of the reasons I'm trying to push that. The screen did pop up, so I didn't finish. So in 2 weeks, it will be fun stream. I will be playing with something that I never actually seen in my whole life, in real life. I've seen a couple of streams, I've seen a couple of videos, I've read about it. You know, I've academically would say know the concept, but actually I've never ever played with that. And we will have on next stream unboxing of that and installation of that and first use of that, and it can be a complete fail, but I want this year to be a year of fails. So if we fail, we learn. If we don't fail, everything works from the first time. Maybe we didn't learn anything, we were just lucky. So if it fails, it will be great. If it doesn't fail, it will be awesome. And in 2 weeks, I think it will be great stream. I actually, on one side, I was disappointed because when they contacted me, I was expecting them to talk about something else. But the alternative they proposed which we'll be looking in 2 weeks, is something that's been I've been contemplating about that for a long time, and so it will be also fun stream. So far on this stream, everything is going as it should. I even managed to show the LEDs at one point in the case working. So something going on here. This is not loading up. Let's try to Control F5. Oh, here are the add-ons. None of them is working. Yeah, everything is offline. Everything is offline, offline, offline. Let's update core. Create backup. Yeah, create backup. After we create that backup, I could probably create a full backup just to have it in case locally here. It will speed up the process of downloading everything, and we actually just now downloaded 2 times everything. The system looked at what versions were in the JSON file that it needed to pull, so it pulled the versions from the May last year, and now 5 minutes later we downloaded those same files with the latest release. So we would have saved some time if I would have accurate or recent backup. And by the way, it's fascinating to see that after 10 months or something like that, I don't do math that quickly, actually I don't see any issues creeping. Everything is booting up, so meaning that there were a lot of changes in those 10 months in Home Assistant, but still 10-month-old backup can be loaded up and looks like it's working okay. I'm not sure if I should restart core or restart full OS. It's too late now. It will just install. It will restart the core. Depending if the add-ons boot up next time or not. If they don't boot up automatically, I will then restart the whole OS. Although actually the OS is 9.5, so that's okay. Supervisor is already latest, or will be latest after restart. Maybe we are good. Also coming up videos. So next week I will probably be playing a little bit with the release schedule. I have a backlog of things that I need to release videos out. Next week there will probably be 2 videos. I'm trying to find a way to be less intrusive in terms of stuff I get to do video on. For example, this case or the monitor or the lock that will be next week, while still keeping some momentum on Home Assistant related videos on how to do stuff, how to whatever. So when I started in the first year, I was doing 2 videos per week, and that is really hard to keep up with. It really was stressful at the end. So that's why I decided to go with 1 video a week. But I have to somehow release a ton of everything, and maybe I will be for the next few weeks pushing 2 videos out, where 1 video will be some kind of review. And I know that not a lot of people like those or care about them. There are some really nasty, unnecessary comments when you do video like that. Actually, I don't get paid. I do get free item. I don't get paid. When I do get paid, I say that it's sponsored a video. I only had 3 or 4 sponsored videos so far. I also decline a lot of sponsored videos because I like to do fun stuff because I can, not because I get paid for that. This is not my job. I'm not living from YouTube. And I really respect all the guys that have full-time jobs doing videos on YouTube, but actually this is more of stealing my personal time for the hobby than it is work. And actually a lot of things that some of the things that I receive never get released video because if I cannot say anything good about the item, I don't want to lie and misguide you or give you illusion that something is good or not. There are some things that I do receive that are some awesome things, but I just cannot fit in my content. For example, I will probably get to play with kids for the kids Arduino, or Raspberry Pi kids for the kids, robots, tanks, mechanical arms and things like that. And that's something that has no correlation with smart home, but it's so fun. And also, if you're into DIY stuff, if you have kids, maybe this is something that you can do together with your kids, or get your kids hooked up to the IT if you ever decide to do that. I don't know why would you decide to do that, but you know, it's fun stuff that doesn't necessarily have any kind of relation to the content that I would usually do, but I think it's fun and I really want to do a video about it. And then you get, you know, like hate mails like I was paid $10,000 to say something. No, I actually had a lot of fun. I actually, the monitor that I did last week, was one of the comments was, yeah, I can slap my mobile phone on the wall and use it instead of this. Okay, just bear with me for a second. The system did restart. We have to fix one thing. Everything else is okay. Okay, one thing. I don't know what mobile phones you guys use. Okay, so this is the LCD screen, touch screen from last week. It's 10.1 inch. Okay. I have pretty large mobile phone, and even if I slap it on the wall, it's much smaller than this screen is. And nobody can tell me the answer to everything is not you can slap the old mobile phone. Old mobile phones or new mobile phones are not the same thing as displays. Sure, this one doesn't have 2K, 4K, 8K, 16K resolution, but for showing dashboards of Home Assistant, it has more pixels than you will ever need. Even this e-ink screen has enough pixels to show you know all the data that you need. And it has like 12 by 12 pixels. So yes, you can slap your mobile phone on the wall, but mobile phone is actually not a screen that has behind it a nook, because what you can do on nook you cannot do on the mobile phone. Okay, sure, you can slap the tablet, but I did already show you previously how my Surface, which is actually a laptop, which has a big screen, it was like 2K screen, looks after the battery got inflated. Do you really want to have a device that can have a battery go bad on the wall while you are on your vacation or at work? Everybody remembers Samsung. It's called Samsung Gate. Okay, so enough about renting. Let's go back to the. So I do like to do stuff that's not just this. You know, it becomes boring when each week you release video on how to change color in Home Assistant and how to. Yeah. Sorry about the rant. I hope that somebody is still here on the stream. Oh, actually, nobody on the stream. Sorry about that. Just kidding. Okay, so let's check what's going on here. Country has not been configured. Give me a second. I just want to check if there is any private data here or not. Let's change to this screen. Learn more. Yeah, no, we can't do that actually, because this system is still working out of configuration YAML file. And we need to fix a couple of things. One of the first things that we need to fix actually is go to add-ons and check what we have. Looks like nothing actually is working. Okay, let me plug the CC2531. This is the very old Zigbee stick. And let's plug this RTL stick that is used to control to monitor the sky. Actually, I don't have add-on. Where is the add-on for that? Doesn't matter. Let's go to the settings, system, advanced options, reboot system, reboot. I think that I will. Okay, I think that I will migrate this old CC2531, 2351, 2531, and not to the Sonoff stick. I'm not sure what Sonoff this is. Let me get the old man's tool. This is the P version. I like this version. I do have to flash probably the latest firmware on it. P is more of a CC2532RB, which I use at my setup, so it's very similar to that one. I like it. E version may be better. E version is same as the Sky Connect from Home Assistant crew, but the process of flashing is a bit harder, and I'm a lazy beep beep beep, and if I can, I go the easy way. Okay, let me just clear the filter here. System is rebooting. It should be fast. It's much faster. This is Raspberry Pi 4 with Raspberry Pi 4, I think, with 4 gigs of RAM. So it was much faster than that Raspberry Pi, which had, I think, 1 gig of RAM. But one of the next steps, and before that we have to do also backup, will be to try and move all the data from the SSD to M2 disk. There are two ways on how you can move data from SD card. If you run Home Assistant, there are two ways on how you can do that. One is actually official way, and that's the same way that you can do if you run, for example, Home Assistant Yellow, which we will look in a second. But I here want to try something else, and that is to actually do image or copy an image of the SD card on the M2 disk, remove the SD card, and that's it. Oh, I forgot one. For that, I need to update the EEPROM. So that means that I would have to boot the device once again in the with the old OS, because I'm not sure that from the Home Assistant OS you can update the EEPROM on the... Can you update the EEPROM? Can you update the firmware of the Home Assistant Raspberry Pi while Home Assistant is used as OS? Let's search. Home Assistant Pi 4 boot from... sure. Booting from USB due to complexity of USB must delicate when booting blah 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 blah. Oh joy. Okay, maybe I'll do that off stream. But actually we don't care. This is just a restore. I will download the backup and... No, let's for the fun of it try to do that. I think that there is steps here what we need to do. This is the case that I'm using for everybody that joined the stream later and didn't see the intro. So this is the case. That actually is moving just the data. So that are two options, Mark John. So there is option to move just data. OS actually stays on the SD card. So you still have possible issues with the SD card. And the second data is second thing is that we can try is going this way. We cannot issue those commands, and I'm not sure. I don't think that we can do those two commands also from the Home Assistant OS, so we probably need to switch once again the SD card, run those 4 commands, and then use later on, boot it in Home Assistant OS, use sudo fdisk l to list everything, and then disk duplicate, move everything from SSD to M2 disk. So that's a different option. If you look at the documentation, Home Assistant offers a data disk feature that offloads all data on attached USB hard drive, which means that anything that is not Home Assistant OS. So for example, I don't know, Docker images that are downloaded, that are used, or data storage or configuration files or databases, everything is then moved to that USB hard drive, while actually the OS is still served from the SD card. And after I had one failed, I really would like to move everything. That way I know that if something fails, it's a M2 disk, not the SD card. And hopefully M2 disk will last longer. Okay, let's go back to Home Assistant. No, this one, Home Assistant. What did it say? Okay, update, install. Yeah, as I said, it was missing that one. This one is working. Why are the icons gray? Open Web UI. Let's try fdisk. Yeah. Doesn't want to run sudo. But we have a solution for that one too. We now have terminal and SSH. We can install the other. SSH. This is the official, this is the unofficial one. And there we could elevate our privileges. I forgot how do you focus security, visibility, flexibility, blah, blah, access to web interface. Okay, we don't care about that one. Features, based on OpenSSH, blah blah blah. Okay, comes with SSH support for Mosh. Compatible consistent generic installer. We can try. Runs with more privilege of to debug and test more situation. Has access to dbus, Docker instances. Runs on host level network. Install favorite tools. Blah blah blah. Yeah, we could potentially show in sidebar. It's nice. It looks the same. So first one we don't need. Let's yep, we need to configure it. I forgot about that one. This is this one. Configuration, passwords 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is temporary. How many of you have temporary things that are temporary for a couple of years? Open Web UI. Come on. Hey, Simon. Nice seeing you. Okay, so we are here. Let's test sudo fdisk. Yeah, I cannot type. What am I missing? I don't know. It should work, it doesn't work. Nope. So this one doesn't want to run. This one doesn't do sudo. Can I do login? But what is the... Yeah, I cannot. Okay. We'll think of site. If nothing, we can move data for now, and later we can play with it. Okay, so let's check something out. This is what I have here. Information about the Raspberry Pi. Okay, I need temperature for the CPU to be below 51.6 degrees centigrade. The reason for that is that I have alarm set up that if temperature goes above 50 degrees for a period longer than 2 minutes, me and my father receive notifications. So meaning that actually, let me just check. So since the stream started, we got already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notifications for all the restarts and shutdowns, plus 2 notifications for CPU over temperature. In order to control the fan, wow, Simon, and I got up at like 6:15 in the morning. The dog, we'll not talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno. Sorry, his name is not Bruno, but yeah. Okay, we have more stuff to update here. This is all because we updated now finally to the latest version of HACS. And here, dismiss and pending restart, explore. I said I cannot. Yeah, I cannot install anything until I restart. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. Let's restart Home Assistant once again. There'll be a couple of more restarts. We have Yorkie dog. Check, sure I don't know where he is. And it was like 6:15, and he was, of course, he's sleeping with me and my wife in bed. And I woke up like 5 seconds before he puked. And I just, I woke up because of that sound, the dog's. And I like took him, put him down on the floor, and he puked all over the floor. Thank God, not the bed, not us. Then I had to go and clean everything up, wash everything up, and it was like 6:15 in the morning, and I was like, there is no way after that I'm going back to sleep. And of course, I couldn't sleep. Yeah, Simon, I know that. And it also takes less to get me fully waked, and it takes longer to fall asleep. Actually, I did fall asleep a couple of days ago in the sofa, but that's other story. Yeah. Okay, let's wait for everything to load up properly. I unplugged by accident everything. Okay, we'll wait for a couple more seconds until everything boots up again. Oh, you're a lucky one. Yeah, you're a lucky one. Actually, I had a bit of rough time lately. I don't know when it started though. 2 weeks before the stream, I don't know who was in the last stream. I mentioned that I had ER visit. They visited me that morning before the stream. I actually didn't know if I would be holding the stream or not. That was 2 weeks ago. I felt very not good. I don't know what else to say, but I really was feeling like I'm gone. And they came here and did the ER checks, heart, are you conscious, not, blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, actually, at this point, we don't see anything life-threatening. If it repeats, go to hospital or call us again. And then I started, I went a couple of days later in the hospital for a day to do all the exams, CAT scan, blood works, heart, blah, blah, blah. But that was just part of the exam because you cannot do everything in one day. Then on Wednesday, I was at work and once again, the ER was called. I ended up in ER. This is a third time in 5 days. I got like 4 vials of blood out of me and I was like really feeling like crap already. Again, they couldn't pinpoint what's the problem. So I've been going back and forth every couple of days to hospitals doing all the stuff I can get. So next week I'm going once again on exams. And it puts a bit of, you know, psychologically you start feeling like crap at one point. But then again, I'm an optimist, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen? Me dying and not needing to pay any more bills. Yay! I'm just kidding. Oh, GPIO. Whoa, it already knows what we need. I was searching, but how did I know? How did it pull from the... Okay, doesn't matter. But we actually do need GPIO. GPIO. Raspberry Pi GPIO, this one here. Let's check. This is binary sensor. Binary sensor, sensor data, cover, switch. We need switch. We will be using this one. Let's copy this here. What else do we have? Switch, unique, invert logic. No. For multi terms on GPIO, visit Wikipedia. Switch, speaker. Okay. It's okay. Common question is, what does port refer to? To the historical GPIO, not the pin number. Oh, okay. Okay, so we need to install this one. Download. Yeah, it was not fun. Thank God, so far everything is okay. Now, heart, I was on ultrasound, color Doppler of the arteries in the neck. So I did everything. Everything is really perfect. So actually, I'm just maybe going nuts of everything. But physically, the more they do exams, it looks okay. We still have the glands. I have to check that. Maybe that's... No, it's like... It's not fun. It's not fun. We did install, we need to restart. Am I right? My wife said that my concentration has lately been, you know, yesterday evening, I talked with the kid, gave her a kiss for good night a couple of times, waved her good night from downstairs, and like half an hour later, and I called her out. Oh, Zita, come help me with something. My wife was like, she's in bed already for some time. Okay, let's not talk about that. And I wanted to restart Home Assistant once again after installing the GPIO HECS component. And then we will be playing with the vent. As I said, I need to get the temperature of the Raspberry Pi down. Then we will try the other pins. Sure. Yep. The green screen is here. Let's see, what's this? This is called face cam. Filters. I have Elgato green screen. This is the second one, and this also has issues. I really like Elgato products, but this sometimes pisses me. I don't want to do any more RMAs or try to fix it. Okay, we need additional what? Oh, nice! All the icons are back in style. So one thing I don't need and I don't want to see file editor ever again in my life. Instead, we will be installing Yep. What am I doing? Code. Yes, VS Code. I have in terms of sources, I have like dozens sources here. For example, this here is related to Pretzel Rocks. It displays the logo, and the song name. This one is social. It will remove the... Oh no, these are the messages that pop up on screen when somebody subscribes, etc. Discord status, it's the upper one. Audio, YouTube chat, this is this window here. Overlay main is this one. Overhead is the camera, which is off. Face cam is this one. Then we have Chrome main, which is the window from the other screen, etc. So there are a lot of components that are on the same screen that have either transparent backgrounds or overlays or etc. Okay, this is still getting installed. After it installs, we need to... that's a tough question. Okay, I use only 3 instances. My main setup, my recording setup, which now runs on yellow, and third one is this that I'm currently restoring. Besides that, I also have one running on the old Synology, which I recovered. I have Docker on old Synology. I have that's it. And I have on iHost this. I also have Docker installed, Home Assistant on Docker installed on this iHost. So like 5-6 instances, but I use 3 of them. Though other 3 are just for testing, and just like fringe cases when I need to see if something works or not. But mainly I do only 3 instances, like probably a cluster. Start. Okay, Visual Studio Code. Let me just for a second kill this so that something doesn't pop up. I don't have I never had. I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment. Although the 2-story apartment with the reinforced concrete, so all the outer walls and floor is reinforced concrete, which can interfere with the signal. I never had issues with the signal, but one thing that I did was a bad thing. I replaced all my bulbs with the Zigbee bulbs. They're always on, so these are the routers for the network, and they expand the network, which if I would do now, I would never go that route. But it does help with the network, so I don't have any issues with the Zigbee signal on neither of those sticks. Even the CC2531 for me was great. Limitation for it was the number of devices and the overall quality of the stick. Good idea that I did what I did just now. Okay, let me scroll this up because some information was visible here that shouldn't be visible. Okay, we'll add switch. This switch will be on port cooling fan. Cooling fan is on 6. Port 6. RPi fan. Just a second. Unique ID will be Raspberry Pi fan. That should be that should be more or less it. we need to restart Home Assistant since this change needs to be. I always forget that you can do it from the. It's doing this too long. You shouldn't be doing that that long. What's going on? Something's not correct. Restart Home Assistant. I'm using. Okay, I have currently running 2 Zigbee networks at home. One is on the main Synology. That one is CC2652RB from Slash. This is the main network. Then I also run the internal yellow Zigbee, not stick. I do have stick somewhere. I don't think that's currently. I think it was used for testing on my second Synology system. That's the Sky Connect stick. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so actually, let's go to overview. Let's go to Raspberry Pi. Temperature of the CPU is 52 degrees, which is too hot. Let's add card. I said let's add card. Entities, we don't care about Bruno. Raspberry Pi fan. Save. Let me. Unfortunately, I cannot split screen here. I can turn off the lights. And I can flick the switch. It's alive. What's the actual light behind me? This is actually more or less the only thing that I really needed to work in this setup. I needed to be able to cool down the CPU. Let's move to mainstream and let's turn the light on. And probably you will see the temperature of the CPU drop down. So next step, what I have to do is to create automation that would be triggered if the temperature goes above 50 degrees and 46. And I think I will do that if it falls below 40 degrees for more than. Let's see how we'll do it. Yeah, I can do automation that, for example, when the CPU temperature is above 50 degrees for 2 minutes, I use that currently to send Telegram notification. So I can use that notification to trigger the fan on. And then I can have the next one. I think that is currently triggered. Let's check automation settings. Automations. I think all of the automations here are last run May, July. How July when this backup was from May? How do you have a July as last? I don't get it. August. Oh, it was July the year before. So it was July 2021. Okay. CPU hot. Okay. When CPU temperature is above 51. Okay, for 2 minutes. We set notification and we can add new notification. Device. No, it's not device. Switch turn on device. It's not actually device, it's entity. Raspberry Pi fan. Save. Okay, so now if it goes above 51 for 2 minutes, it would send notification and also turn the fan on. You can never have too many. I really love playing with the Telegram notifications. Telegram is great. You can also implement some other functionality. For example, turn the lights. And you don't need for this. It is great because you actually don't need to open any ports. You can have Telegram installed on your mobile phone and issue commands via the bot and turn the lights on, off, or receive notifications. It's great. I really like how Telegram works. Cooling down. Okay, when CPU temperature is below 50, no, below what is the current temperature? It's 38. So for example, we can say when it's below 40, we'll have then spikes between 40, 50, 40, 50, but it may be okay. Yeah, let's go settings, automations, cooling down. When temperature is below, let's say 40 for, let's say 5 minutes, send notification, cooling down, through link and off. And add action, call service, switch, turn off, entity, Raspberry Pi fan, save. Okay, so now we will trigger this by hand. The fan has turned off. The CPU temperature is 37.5. Let's see if Johnny, congrats for that, because Simon has really good stuff. I know that YouTube was punishing me in February. It was like crazy. All the statistics went down, but who cares? Okay, one energy drink down. It's so sour. Okay, so currently temperature is 37.5. It's starting to rise slowly. Let's actually leave it as is. The fan is off, everything is working. Let's see if we can do anything else. Okay, for the OLED screen, unfortunately, we cannot do anything. Because we would need to install something that will not work. You can do this, you can clone this, you can change this, you can run this, but I don't think that anything will happen. Let's check it out. We have nothing to lose. Actually, we could create a backup. We could. That's the Spar, Interspar, the German and Austrian supermarket. They have their own brand of fruit flavored energy drinks. I always kid that they are my sponsors. Actually, yeah, nobody wants to sponsor my streams. Energy drinks, I tried with beers, tagged a couple of companies. They didn't get hooked up. Today I was trying to pitch the beard products to do beards, you know, creams or razors. And nobody wants to sponsor this. Just kidding. Okay, more or less stuff is working now. Let's go to system. No, let's go to no. Let's go to backups. Oh yeah, these are the okay. Just like wow. And I did math correctly. 10 months ago was May. Create backup, full backup. stream backup. This system will now be called stream system. Simon, Johnny has actually problems with its Bluetooth version, as far as I remember correctly, currently. If we are talking about that 2410B. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. 52.7. Stream backup. 3 dots. Download backup. I was actually, okay, so I got last weekend, I got a present. The cart from the IKEA, that, you know, the mobile cart, blah blah blah, it's now full with stuff, and let me try to bring it closer. I have now 2 boxes, 2 more boxes. Here I have all the projects I'm currently working. Down I have a bunch of stuff. Everything is neatly thrown in those boxes, including this one here, and somewhere on the top of it was also that one. Oh, those 2. Yeah. I need to solder again wire, because I managed to rip it out, and I need to do the wire once again. But I'm so happy I now have a trolley and I can move stuff around, and my desk hasn't been cluttered for like 5 minutes. Shit, I kicked PC with the... Oh shoot. I'm breaking stuff. I didn't actually know that my system had a DVD player. Simon, everybody is using BeardedTinker proxy. My guess is that like at least 40% of all Home Assistant users have a BeardedTinker proxy. So I didn't even flash the latest version of the firmware. I heard that some had issues with the original ones, and the later ones came with the newer version of the firmware. I have to test that one. So okay, we have backup. Did I download the backup? Yeah, I did download the backup. So we are good to go here. What else? What else? I wanted to do something, then my concentration is... let's check the ADSB feeder. It's not running. I don't have antenna plugged in. Let's start it. Let me just check. Okay, backup information, everything is here. Main screen. Yeah, we will not see anything on the map. I really love this. This is so useless integration. It's like the worst integration. Oh, one thing I need to add. So like this is the most useful integration anybody can have in their own setup. But on the other hand, to be able to see, you know, all the aircrafts around your home for like 100 or 150 nautical miles is so awesome. On the other hand, it does help some of the open source systems, not open source, but public systems for flight tracking. For example, I think Flight Radar can pull data from your system and improve the accuracy of the maps. So while it's really useless, it's so fun. And I remembered one thing that we need to add. It's a front end, dismiss, explore, what GPIO? ADB. No, flight. radar. What was the name of that integration? Home assistant, light, radar, HSCS. Oh no. Ooh, look, 2 videos. Open Sky Tracker and Track Aircrafts. This guy looks familiar. No. Is this one? Is this the one? I think this is the one. This is the one. How it's called? FR24. That's the thing that I added that was not on the backups. Download. Because actually without this card, which was added last year, I don't know when, you actually couldn't pull that information inside Home Assistant. So by installing this Lovelace card from the HCS, you can actually get some kind of information in Home Assistant and have on the UI actual information about the flights around you from your system. That other one that is using Open Sky Map is pulling that stuff from the internet. It's like I don't know if anybody has ever used Weather Underground before IBM bought it and before all the problems and drama with it. So how Weather Underground worked, it was like the largest collection of privately sourced meteorological data for end users. You would have, I had Lacrosse, what was the number? Lacrosse weather station. And it had RS-232 port. Then I had hooked up PC to it with serial connection. Then I had Linux installed that was actually capturing that information, since there is no original software for that. And then I was uploading that to the Weather Underground. And then Weather Underground would have for that area 1, 5, 10, 100 personal weather station, and based on the data from the, they would also analyze the data. So if there were any spikes or not, they were just like eliminating them. They created the nice curved lines, and based on that they could create local prediction models for the weather. Then IBM bought them. Then they decided to charge everybody, including those that are sending data free of charge to them. Okay, so I would send them data, and then for me to be able to get that data, I would need to pay them. And then there was, of course, drama. And then they decided, okay, yeah, sure. As a person providing data for us to use and sell meteorological data, we will give you free of charge access to your data, but no other data from the system. People said, come on, guys, there are other companies where I can send my data. And that's when I killed Weather Underground in my house. Okay, overview. Where do I put that one? Let's add it here. Add a dashboard. Add cart. How do we add it? Oh my god. Yeah, I have to play with that one because it needs to. I need to create a rest sensor. Yeah, I will not be doing that. I just don't want to do that. ADSB feeder. ADSB feeder is so that's. Let me show you. that's this stick. That's this stick here. It's a software controlled radio that has antenna usually hooked up here, and it collects aircraft data, public data. So you get, it has very big range. So it collects data from the aircraft that are passing and are in a range. For me, if it's the antenna is outside and there is no buildings or anything, I can go up to 150 kilometers from my apartment and pull the data. Data is transponder data. You have here ADS-B, MLAT, other these, for example, height of the aircraft, speed of the aircraft, direction, call sign, etc. And then this data is also feed, you can then feed data to other services. There are various services. I will not be opening up a video. I did video. I will not open the window because there is identifiers that are my private identifiers there. But not that one. I forgot how it's not this one. This one. Aircraft position, trail, Europe, you can pull those. No, nothing here. You can add rain weather data here, topology cards, and you actually see aircrafts taking off the airports, circling around you, traveling at high altitudes, all with this small antenna. That's ADS-B feeder. That's add-on. It's not internal inside Home Assistant. Let me... Nope, settings, add-ons, add-on store. I will post repositories. I think this is the one. No, this one. Home Assistant add-on repository, Mapbox. So this is the one here. I will find the link to it somewhere. Where is that information? Oh no, it's not HACS. Check. This one here. If you add that to add-on repositories, you will get access to, where are they? These here. Okay, let's quickly, we did the backup, we did everything. Let's quickly do migrate data to the M2 disk. I will later on try to move everything from the SD card. But how it goes, you go to System, Storage, 3 dots, Move Data Disk. If I press it now, everything will go offline. New data disk is SDA. This is the new one. This is the current one. Moving data disk will reboot your device, and it will take 10 minutes. Move. Okay. So let's see how this goes. I was like, you see how I was tilting and then I stopped. Do you know why I stopped? I couldn't remember for a second if we did download the backup or we didn't. And it's shutting down. Oh, yeah. So I pressed the 3 dots and moved data to the SDA disk. Sure, that was nice. I cannot repeat that. Thanks, Mark. So you actually didn't also see me. Yeah, I'm like idiot. So you didn't actually see me going through the links for the add-ons. And okay, it's Saturday. It's late. I'm with my younger daughter. I'm watching Marvel movies through the timeline in correct timeline order. And today we watched Blackadder. Today we watched Blackadder. Black Widow. And actually, it was the first time I watched the Black Widow, and yeah, it's a different movie. I'm not sure if I would call it one of my favorites, but it was a bit different than the other Marvel movies. We still have not that many to go because she did watch latest Wakanda Forever, multiverse with Doctor Strange and the multiverse, the latest Spider-Man. So we have still 2, 3 or 4 movies to watch, and then we are done. Wow, I did talk a lot this time. Wow, I can talk a lot. But I will not be popping up the other energy drink, it will be just too much. We are still booting up. Looks like it restarted just now. Hopefully. A lot of blinking is going on. But at the end, I really would prefer if I would be able to copy everything to the M2 disk. Unfortunately, one of the ways on how you can install it from scratch is to copy in Balena Sketcher everything to the M2 disk, but I don't have a dock or cable to directly attach it to the PC. Which, let's check. M2 SSD to USB adapter. Yeah, there are. This is okay, I don't need those NVMe or okay. Sure. €5 plus €5 plus €2.3. That's okay price. Let's add to cart. Oh, 29 items. I use a card as a storage system. Now this is too complicated. M2 engineer. What this one? M key, B key. SATA once again. 2-in-1 SATA to USB, 3 Type-C to SATA, blah 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 blah. Plug and play for 2.0. No need a power adapter. No need a power adapter. USB acceleration. Yeah, I like those numbers. I believe you. I really do. But we are looking at this one here. How much is this one? Wow, this one is actually more expensive than that other one. What else do we have? Let's see if this is still booting up. What else do we have? Ooh, look at this one. Alloy metal. Yes, I want to spend 100 euros for the temporary relocation of data. Hard disk box. No, this sounds too good to be true. M2 SSD case, SATA chassis, blah blah blah, generation 1, USB 3, blah 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 blah. Wow, a lot of stuff. 1.5 gigabits per second, high-speed transmission. Wow, multi-OS. This must be awesome. This is the best disclaimer that all the items on AliExpress have. 1 to 2 centimeter deviation. If actually it would be 2 centimeter deviation, you couldn't. Okay. M key, B key. Those are different grooves. Yeah, it looks okay. How much is this one? So, how much is okay to pay for a device that you will use once in a lifetime? This doesn't look good because you cannot screw in the disc and there is a potential of loss of contact. I believe. Maybe. Here, this one looks the same, but this is like a back end of the case, while this doesn't have back end. This top part is the same. And this just like feels like I did some soldering. Oh no, we cannot use it. It doesn't say it's certified for Home Assistant. Yeah, that's good. That's yeah, I really do not know. I feel that this is probably, if I buy it and I wait for it, this will probably be my one and only use for that device. And even if it fails, I probably wouldn't be bothering too much about that. Yeah. But still, this one just feels like exposed. This one feels like you will be losing connection, and this one looks okay because you do protect drive. But you know, with everything, look, it's the same. This is that part, the upper part here, and the disc, this one just has the back end. It's the same. Here they just don't sell the rest of the box. 4.97 and this is 4.94. Did I put it in the cart already? Yeah, I did. Did I buy it? We will do that now. I'm thinking, does my card I'm using has money on it? Looks like it is. Okay. And also good idea that I close the window because again, personal information. Let's see. Oh, we are back actually. Maybe. Yes, we are. Working. Everything. Settings. So what I did and didn't show you was go to system, go to storage, and then here I moved data disk, but we cannot do it once again. It was using MMV something, and I moved every data. I moved all the data to SDA, which is the SD drive, SSD drive here. Okay, Hardware, I said I'm using Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigs. Beds, yes, 4 gigs, nice. And the system is working, at least this part here. We did manage to get the fan working. Oh. See how it works. It goes 38. Then it fell. Let's change the camera to this one. Let's turn the lights off and see when it starts to spin. It should start to spin. No, it's how long? No, it's 50.1. Let's put a bit of stress on the CPU. Start on boot. Okay. This will add a bit of stress to CPU. It will increase then the temperature of CPU, and we should see, yes, because first of all, the SD card in the case is 64 gigs, and I think that SSD drive is 128 gigs. And also not everything has been moved, so part OS is still on the SD card, while all the data files from Home Assistant, logs, database, etc., they were moved to SSD. Okay, the temperature has gone above 52 degrees, and it, I think, takes 2 minutes for automation we created to start. We actually didn't try playing with the WLED, but yeah. Alright, come on. Come on, fan. Anybody knows any good jokes? If there is somebody still from Croatia here, and no, Stjepan is here, or Blackadder, or whoever, there is a joke for you coming up in Croatian now. How does a mathematician hit the girls, you know? He says decimala. Sorry, it was a Croatian joke. One of those dad jokes or stupid jokes. Come on, fan. Ooh, and the light is on, and the fan is on. And now the temperature will start to slowly drop. As I said, that's one of the main things that I want to have resolved, because this device is far away, not that far away, but you know, I physically access it once in a few months. So I want to make sure that the temperature is always below, or it tries to be below 50 degrees. Raspberry Pis can go without an issue probably to around 60 degrees, but it's always a good idea to keep them around 50 degrees. Oh, I have to get that one. Mark, do you have a link? I don't know if you can post the link. Let me open another window and leave. Oh, yeah, the temperature is down to 46 degrees. So, working. Let's see. Home Assistant add-on jokes. Yolks. Oh, this one here. I haven't seen this one. It looks fun. Every minute the sensor provides a joke. Let's see in HACS, it's probably front end. Front end. I have to remove those two. Let's remove authenticated. Remove. What did we say? Front end, a Sun card. I really like this card. I don't know why it's been deprecated. I do. Yeah, I do. It's, you know, just imagine that, doing that, combining it with text to speech, which means that if the joke is a bit longer, it would like repeat jokes every half a minute or something like that. That would be so fun. I think somebody would kill me. Hi. Just a second. That was my wife saying hi to everybody. Oh, and I don't know if you've seen tweets yesterday. I was waiting for that for some time, but it was out of stock. I got yesterday a rolling camera, a doorbell camera, and so far, so good. So far, it's really integration, HACS, integration, jokes or yokes. I can install configuration works out of box. Sensor random jokes. Come on, we have to do it. I will make a 20-minute video of that, but let's do it quickly. So yesterday I received the package. One Lovelace element is not loaded. What is not loaded? This one. Let's try to re-download. If it's really removed, I'm so sad, because this was one of the best cards I used in my setup. Yeah. I have to. Oh no, this is the Meta Alarm card. Yeah, Meta Alarm also changed into sensor, I think. No, this one is working. I have to fix this one here. We need to restart. We need to restart Home Assistant. Restart Home Assistant. Thank God this really is working very fast. Oh, and nice thing about it, when you restart Home Assistant, the switch is automatically turned off on the Raspberry Pi, which is something I didn't know, but now we know. Let's close this, let's close that one. But nevertheless, we now know that there is a we now have two integrations for jokes, so there is a room for video. You know, we have integration and we have Lovelace or UI. Why is this still called Lovelace when there is no Lovelace in the HACS? Oh no, it's called frontend. Sorry, my bad. Developer tools, yokes, sensor, nope, settings. Just give me a second. Too many stuff would pop up here. Add integration. Oh. Yeah, you have to add it. Let's go to developer tools. Oh. Come on. This is so terrible. This is so terrible. I love it. Okay. I think we better wrap up, or I will be reading jokes every minute. 8:09, 8:10, 26, which means we got a new joke. Why was the broom late for the meeting? He overswept. Oh, God. I love it. I really love it. And oh, once again, thank you everybody for joining the stream. We did manage to restore my system. In the Pironman case, everything is working. I will have to play with some more stuff, and we did install this HSCS integration. Thanks to all the channel members. Don't forget to click on the like icon if you did like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe. Next video is next week. Next stream is in 2 weeks. Thank you all. Bye bye. And for the end, last joke. What's a tornado's favorite game to play? Twister. Bye.